A documentary for Fox Network on Nick Reiner's case. And got to tell you, the schizophrenia diagnosis, by the way, he didn't just develop schizophrenia. He has had schizophrenia for years, we're told. And the diagnosis of that is going to be so important in this case. And part of it has to do with the way the mental health system works. So somebody who has schizophrenia often self-medicates, and Nick clearly did that, from heroin to cocaine to various stimulants, all sorts of things. What happens is that somebody gets diagnosed with schizophrenia, but they self-medicate and they become a drug addict. And then in these rehab facilities, and he went to 18 of them, what they end up doing is they end up treating the addiction to the drugs and not dealing with, ignoring, or not even understanding the underlying schizophrenia, the underlying mental illness. So the person gets clean, goes out, has the underlying disease untreated, and then they go back to their old habits to self-medicate. That's when it becomes this revolving door. And that's what happened to Nick Reiner. He was treated for addiction over and over and over. But the schizophrenia largely went untreated. And when it did get treated, what happens is that there's a whole community that is dealing with the way doctors treat mental illness like schizophrenia. So what they do is they'll give you drugs, and those drugs have side effects. And then if they end up in rehab or with another doctor, or even with the same doctor that prescribed the drugs, they will look at the side effects not as a side effect to the drugs, but something organic to the schizophrenia. So they're looking at a side effect saying this is connected to their problem with schizophrenia, and not realizing it's really related to the medication. And it becomes this snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and they end up not getting the treatment they need to right themselves, to stabilize themselves. So all of this becomes such a problem. And then on top of everything else, I interviewed a psychiatrist who said that there are 400 rehab centers in Los Angeles. He refers to 4 of them. He will make referrals to 4 of them. 1%. And why? Well, when you look at the ones that are $70,000 a month, what are they offering? They're offering, luxury treatments. They're offering swimming pools and camping and scenic views. And what a lot of people are saying in the mental health field is none of that matters. And it actually can hurt, because rehab is not meant to be soft. It needs to be a hard experience to confront a lot of things that are more than uncomfortable. And there are a lot of doctors in the healthcare industry who think that, number one, no place should be charging that kind of money. And number two, the places that are and are trying to justify it with luxury are not the places you want to be. Nick went to several of those places at the very least. And I will tell you that in doing our documentary, there are people who are saying that it actually can hurt people if they have a lot of money, where they can send a loved one to a place that is trying to make people feel good and comfortable, because that's not the point of rehab. The point of rehab is to stabilize somebody. And for mental illness, as I've been told, from people we're talking to, good luck trying to deal with that in 30 days. This is not a 30-day quick solution. So add up all those things. Add up the diagnosis, add up the side effects to drugs, and mistaking the side effects for the disease itself. Add up the fact that people self-medicate, and then they go to rehab that treats them for the addiction and never deals with the underlying problem. Add in the fact that there are charlatans out there in the rehab community, and that some of these places that charge a king's ransom are doing the addict and the mentally ill no favors. So I get back to what, based on what I'm hearing, is almost certainly going to be Nick's defense, not guilty by reason of insanity. And there are a lot of witnesses to put up on the stand who could well resonate with this jury.